Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Happiness Peter, and thank you for clicking on this video. To my returning subscribers, thank you for clicking on this video, and if it is your first time of coming to this channel, thank you for clicking on this video, and please do me well to subscribe on this channel, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also do watch my other previous videos to see more interesting things about me and to know more about me. Thank you so much. My name is Happiness. I'm a mom of two. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm an administrator. I work with an ISP company. YouTube is my newfound love. This will be about like 12 or 15. I don't even know. I've lost count of how many videos I've dropped. So I'm a new YouTuber, just sharing my lifestyle, sharing about myself, sharing about my children, keeping records for future purposes. So that's the essence of my YouTube. If any other thing is added, definitely I'll keep it posted. So by today's topic is talking about why didn't I fight for my marriage. First of all, when I dropped my first video and I stated that I was single, I was surprised at, although the first people that viewed this video were my friends and extended family, because definitely my close knitted family would have been aware. If they are not aware, I'm surprised. So they were like, how come, why you saying you're single and this and that? I was like, where have you been all this while? Because I've never hide my status. The only thing I did was, I had to take my time, get used to being a single person before broadcasting, and that I did like 1 year after the divorce. Even before the divorce was official, I made it known to people by posting it on my Facebook page and on my WhatsApp. So I'm surprised like years after and people are still saying, oh, you're single, what happened? It's really shocking. And also whenever I meet new people and I tell them I'm single but I have children, they're like, what happened? Like, they start asking a lot of questions. So I just want to create this video so that if anybody asks again what happened, I'm just going to send you the link of this video and to just watch. Although I'm not going to dive into many information for the sake of my children, I'm not going to slander anybody, I'm not going to make anybody look bad. We all have our differences. I had my own part to play in the marriage, he himself had his own part to play in the marriage. So I'm not going to slander anybody. I'm only going to state from my own opinion the reason why I did not fight for the marriage, because people were like, oh, you are young, the marriage was young, why didn't you fight, why didn't you try and make it work? So I'm going to state why. So officially I got separated from my ex about like 5 years, or should I say 6 years. I was pregnant. If you have not watched the birth story of my second child, please go and watch it and hear more details about when the separation started. I was pregnant with my second child and we were separated, and the marriage was officially over in 2 years after, and I think that was in 2022 because of COVID. Anyway, COVID happened and it stretched it. Okay, yeah, we went to court 2019, and by 2022 it was officially over. So we were separated. We were not even talking about, after the separation, we were not talking about any reconciliation because I was done with it and I was no longer ready for any reconciliation. Let everybody just go is our own part, and that is it. The reason why I didn't fight for this marriage was because firsthand I've experienced abuse. Growing up, my mom, mother, she always tell us the things that she faced in marriage, while married to my dad. Growing up, I heard a lot of stories. I had a lot of things, how my mom was abused, how my aunties abused my mom because my dad was the only son of his mother. So let me just say my aunties. I don't know about the other step uncles and step aunties, but my mom was basically talking about aunties. First of all, I'm from Nigeria and we are Igbos, and we have this culture of when you're married to a man, you're married to the entire family. So whatever the family dish out to you, you as a woman, you're supposed to accept it. Yes, it still happen even in this 21st century. So then in the 90s, yes, in the 90s, my mom would sit down, she would tell us a whole lot of things, how she was abused, how she, a whole lot of stories. and a whole lot of scary stories that I did not see. I did not, she was just telling us story. But I experienced it firsthand in 2005. Was it 2005? Yeah, 2005, when we went for my paternal grandmother's burial. I experienced the abuse my mom faced. It was so like, and because I am the fifth child of my mom, the second to the last born, and I was very young at that time. I was just 19 years, and I was second to the last. And you know, in the eastern part of culture, eastern part of Nigerian culture, if you're not the first child, first, that's the first son, and you're not the first daughter, your opinion is not really regarded. So, and when I saw this happening, my brother, my elder brother did not see anything, my elder sister did not see it as something. But because I don't know if it was my level of exposure at that time, or because I grew up hearing what, maybe I would say, maybe I had more listening ear to my mom, so it was really hurtful. I experienced a first hand abuse melted to my mom, not physically, not, not physically beating, but I experienced the first hand abuse melted to my mom. And one thing about abuse in life is it doesn't stop. It continues from life to life. If I don't know, yes, a lot of people would have, experienced seeing their parents being one either of their parents. It abuse can happen in any way. It can happen to the man, it can happen to the woman. So growing up, if you see an abuse happening to either of any of your parents, and you think it will stop with prayer, it doesn't stop. It continues and continues. Maybe later on in life, if they don't abuse you physically by physically hurting you, then they abuse you emotionally. So abuse is abuse, whether emotionally, whether physically, whether anything. Abuse is an abuse. And when I saw that, I was so angry, but I couldn't say anything. Mind you, I was 19, and this my auntie, she had grown-up children, so who am I to go and challenge her and all those kind of things? So that one was in my heart. I didn't really understand what happened, but later on in life, I understood, started putting piece by piece by what my mom used to tell us, because my mom used to tell basically all her children what she experienced in life, in marriage. And I think as an African parent, they keep enduring that abuse, like waiting for, like, oh, let my children get older, my children will fight for me and all those kind of things. So when we got older, my mom kept telling us that, and she was expecting us to, like, help her fight. She was thinking that we are our only hope of fighting for her. And the second abuse that I experienced again from my mom, that's from my aunties to my mom, was in 2012. I was working, I was in Lagos, and my mom was in the village, and I had that physical, this time around it was physical, and I was real mad. I was angry that at that age, at 2012, I was already 25, and I was really angry that at the age, a woman that had a 25 years old child. I was in Lagos working when my mom called me. Because my mom she always called all her children all the time. So I received my, oh no, it wasn't even my mom that called me. My friend at that time was at the village. My where I come from is not a village, so let me just say she was at home with my mom. My friend at that time, I think she was doing a course then that required her to stay at the east, so she stayed at my family house. So she was at the village with my mom at that period when that abuse happened. So she was the one that called me, and when she called me, I felt like, let the village just be close to me in Lagos, that I'm going to bring the family down, that I would not, even if my elder brother was not going to say anything, my elder sister is not going to say anything, that I will take it up, that I will not stand my mom being abused at that age. Just imagine I was 25 years, and just imagine my mom was like in her 50s, and she's still physically abused by my dad's sister. And this sister was not even my dad's direct sister, was my dad's stepsister. So at the end of the day, everything was resolved. Trust Igbos and trust the stupid culture. Despite my mom being attacked, she was made to apologize to her abuser. Oh God, I don't even wish my enemy to be abused in marriage. Yes, I don't wish my enemy to be abused in marriage. And when my mom got back, and that was at that age, I started seeing things. I started talking to my mom, and I was asking my mom, why did you stay? Yes, I asked my mom. When the abuse started, I asked my mom, when the abuse started, why did you stay? She said she stayed because for the sake of her children. And mind you, this abuse did not start like after she finished having all her children. The abuse started immediately in the marriage. She had the first one, she had the second one. I think she even told us one time when she had to even go back and they said the marriage was over, but they took a child from her, and the cry of her child, she was just young, then they get married at a very young age. So she was like, she could not bear staying away with her child without a child, and she was given a condition that if she wants a child she has to return, and she had no choice than to return. And she returned. Definitely in marriage, marital things will happen, and the abuse happened, continued to happen, and she continued to give birth. And at the end of the day, she didn't have any choice than to, like, stay with that way of life. My mom, I'm talking about, she's a very beautiful, I'm not even beautiful, I'm not even fair. People say you're fair, like you've not even seen a fair person. My mom is white, she's beautiful, she has a nice body, but she couldn't live because of her children, and we're talking about 6 children. Then it made me start realizing, like, no, I'm not going to. First of all, in the 90s or in the 80s, marriage were being matchmake. First of all, I said in my mind, I was not going to get married to a total stranger. I'm not cut out for that matchmaking. If I don't know that man in and out, I'm not interested. And I made up my mind that I was going to wait till when I am very, very matured in age. I didn't even care about the age. Like, I'm going to be very, very matured and very, very ready, because based on what my mom was telling me and my siblings, I don't know about my siblings, but based on the story she was telling, I became scared of marriage. To be sincere, I was really scared, because this idea of you marry a man, you're married to the entire family, and whatever the family dishes out to you, you accept it. I was like, I'm not even ready for this kind of thing. Even whether the man give you good, whether the man's family give you bad, you accept it. You don't have any choice. You can't come back. You are married. You are married. Divorce was the year that you are divorced is a big taboo. Not talk about divorce with children. So in my mind, I was like, I am not going to get married early. That even if I'm going to get married, I must know the person I'm getting married to. I must meet the family. I must see the reception. I must see everything before I even think about it. And to be sincere with you, I also have it in my mind that if I finally get married and I notice any atom of abuse, I'm not even talking about physical abuse, any atom of, see, to me, abuse is abuse. Any atom of abuse, I will not bear it. I will not bear it, not even with children. And when I met my ex, I knew him. I thought I met the most gentle and the most kindest, the most nice and everything kind of person. And we got married, and immediately we got married. It started with emotional abuse. Like, it started with emotional abuse. It started with cheating. Like, I don't know what else you call cheating, because chatting with another woman in a sexual way is cheating. It started with that, and I was pregnant. So I was like, okay. I started talking like, I cannot tolerate this, because one thing about me in life is I always let people know what I can tolerate and what I cannot tolerate. And when I noticed all those abuses, especially the cheating part, see, cheating is a deal breaker to me. Yes, it is. I can even tolerate you cheating and hiding it, but if I catch you, if I see it, I will not tolerate it. When you're cheating and you are hiding it, it's even understandable. At least you're respecting me. But when you're cheating and you are making it to my face that yes, I am cheating on you, I cannot tolerate it. I don't know about other women. If you want to tolerate, and the last thing the last thing happiness will do is to go and be fighting a woman. I cannot do it. I've never in my life fight a woman. Rather, I will walk out of that relationship. And when this cheating, I was pregnant with my first child, and this cheating was happening back to back. Like, when I'll talk about one, another one will come up. When I'll talk about one, another one will come up. Like, chatting with your ex is a normal thing. Like, God, I was like, because I know I was not, one thing about me, if I end the relationship with you, I've ended it. What will I am not, see, the relationship that did not progress to us being friends, to us getting to the next level of getting married, I don't see a reason why we should be friends. Even know if we should be friends. I said I don't see the reason why it should be a deep kind of friendship, because anything that will make us break up while dating, then we shouldn't have any business with each other. I'm not saying we should be enemy. No, we shouldn't be enemy. But we shouldn't have any business by you, my ex, chatting me up as early in the morning, chatting me up as if we are still in a relationship. That's what I'm trying to say. And all these things were happening, it was affecting me emotionally, because I was like, is it that I'm not good enough? What is happening? And from there, it graduated to interference, like family from his side coming to state what and what is not supposed to be. I was like, how more? It's like, is this what I'm going to see? I've not even started. Your mother is coming to tell me what and what not to do. Your sister is coming to tell me what and what not to do. Your brother is coming to tell me, even to the extent of uncles, cousins, like that is how far it went to, that they will tell me this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're not supposed to do. I'm like, no way, I'm not even going to stand this. Yes, other things, factors, I was also there, but my reaction was based on what I was getting, because I'm not a mad person. I cannot just sit down and everywhere is quiet and I'll start reacting. It's not possible. The reaction that I made in that marriage, every negative reaction that I made in that marriage was what was thrown at me. For example, let me give you an example. In the marriage, whenever we have issue, my ex had the habit of inviting his mom over to like put fear in me. Yes. And when it happened the first time, I felt it was a normal thing. I felt like, oh, she's our mother, because I took her like a mom. Like, okay, she's our mother. Maybe she's trying to like, trying to bring, provide peace between us. That, marriage, definitely, once in a while life is marriage have issues. Even my next marriage, definitely it will have issues. And it is in that issues that both of you will come to know yourself. So there's no marriage that is beautiful, or there's no marriage that is so real that's please, if anybody is telling you that marriage is so beautiful that you will never have issue, that person is deceiving you. Marriage comes with a lot, and in that a lot, you get to know yourself. Both of you will keep knowing yourself, and the love will keep building. So I didn't see it as a strange thing, my ex inviting his mom to come over and foster peace. But in the situation whereby she came over, and instead of her trying to provide a peace in the marriage, she was obviously supporting her son and making it look as if I am the outsider. This is my child. When somebody is trying to provide peace, like, my son, my son, my son, my son. That's what I keep hearing. It's funny now, but then it wasn't funny. You have to do this. You have to do this. They put the burden of the marriage on me, that the woman is the piece, the woman builds the home, and for a home to build, it is the woman's responsibility to take all the shit. It is the woman's responsibility to take everything that is thrown at her for the marriage to grow. Remember, you have a child. If you live with this child, no man will look at you. That is what a full-grown woman was telling somebody else's child. And initially I thought it was normal. I keep hearing this Bible version. I'll go and look for the Bible version and put that a woman has to be submissive. You have to be submissive fully to your husband for peace to reign in the marriage. And submissive, when I'm talking about submissive, it means submitting your finances, submitting everything about you, whether in sickness, whether in death, whether you are happy, whether you're sad, you have to submit everything. That is what I kept hearing. And my ex-mom refused to make her son know that, oh, my child, this is where you are at fault. When it comes to telling her child where he's at fault, she would tell him separately, secretly. But when it comes to pointing out my fault, she will say it in open, even if it means killing my emotions. She'll say it in open. And while all these things were happening, I couldn't even tell my family, because I felt like, why am I disturbing my family? What would they do? I'm married. This is my cross. Until this thing fully started happening when I had my child, like 2 weeks when I had my first child. Until Threat to Life started. And I was like, no way, I can tolerate everything, But when it comes to threat of life, no, 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 no. I get to get my family involved. And funny enough, when I threatened that I'm going to get my family involved because my life is being threatened, my ex-mom begged me. She knelt down and begged me and said, no, that shouldn't get, I didn't even know how serious this thing is. That shouldn't beg I shouldn't tell my family that she's going to talk to her son, not to threaten me with that I will kill you, I will do that, I will do that. And sincere me, I was like, okay, fine. I was not going to tell my family about it. And funny enough, I didn't tell my family about it. But guess what? When this thing became worse, they now turned it against me that I am the one threatening their son. See, oh, this thing is so complicated and I don't want this video to be too long. In a nutshell, I was abused mentally, emotionally, physically. I was abused in every way. That's in every way. I'm not even talking about I am not even pointing at the physical one. I'm not even holding that one too hard. But the emotional abuse, oh my God. I've never seen that kind of abuse in my life. I've never. I was emotionally abused. I was talked down at. I was told, I was told a whole lot of things. And like I said in my second child video delivery, please go there and watch. We were separated first in 2018. Yes, we were separated first in 2018. And all I keep hearing was, how can you walk away with your child, the first child? Do you want her to grow up without a father? That this child will grow up and ask you, where's my dad? This child will grow up and go back to her father. This child will grow up and turn against you. This, that, blah, blah, blah. Even my lawyer, I know he was saying it from a good place, was like, for the sake of my child, that I have to consider going back to the marriage, this, that, blah, blah, blah. That marriage comes with ups and downs, even while they know I was not happy. If you see me, people will like, oh, you lost weight. You lost weight. You lost your baby fat so fast. I was stressed. I was emotionally drained. That's why I lost baby fat so fast. So people keep telling me, you need to go back for the sake of your child. You need to go back, blah, blah, blah. I said, fine. And like I said in that best story, the abuse got to the stage whereby my ex will wake up in one day and he will leave the house. Leaving the house is not about picking few clothes and just go, let me cool off my brain. Leaving the house, he will leave with his properties. I will come back to an empty house. And this thing was being ignited by his mom. His mom would tell him, leave the house. Leave her. Let's see how she will cope. Let's see how she will manage. Let's see how she can face the shame. Why all these things, funny enough, why all these things were happening, when I tell my mom will always tell me I should bear. I'll tell my mom that I cannot bear. Me, I'm not you. I cannot bear all these things. Mom will tell me that you have a child, you have to bear. I'm like, okay, I'll continue to bear. So when he left the first one, and I called my brother and I told my brother that this is what is happening because my dad is late. And I wish my dad was alive, because if my dad was alive, I don't even care how anybody feel. But I was feeling like, I have to report everything to my brother, and whatever my brother say stands. And when I told my brother that, look at what is happening, that this person has left me in the house, I'm alone in the house. My brother told me that I cannot leave the house. So. Hi, Omo, tradition will make and destroy somebody. My brother was telling me that I cannot leave the house. That him leaving the house does not mean that the marriage is over. That the marriage can only be over when my ex comes to him and tell him that he's no longer married. God. That is tradition. In short, the people that made this tradition are not good. They are not good people. They didn't make this tradition to suit the women. They made this tradition to suit the men and to rub their to grease their ego. And that made me stay in that house with shame and everything for like 6 months plus. I was alone in my matrimonial home. My brother was like that I have to stay like up to a year, that is when it will now show, yes, that truly he's not coming back before I can. That if I leave that house, if anything happens to me, it's my business, I shouldn't call him. Meaning that if I leave the house and my ex come back to the house with another woman, that is my business. That whatever I see is my business. And that was the plan. So I had to stay in that house for like 6 months alone with my child, with everybody around me, knowing that my ex left me in that apartment. I was just there waiting for like, I was just counting for like when it's 1 year to fulfill all righteousness, when it's 1 year, so that I can go back to my brother and tell him that it is 1 year. Can I now move on with my life? Because traditionally, you're, as a woman, you're not supposed to move on with your life. To hell with tradition. To hell with tradition. And that's how I stayed in that house. And while staying in that house, I've made up my mind, the marriage is over, it's over, I've moved on with my life, not moving on with having another relationship. I've started adjusting with, living my life as a single person. And I keep hearing, you have to work on this marriage because of your daughter. You have to. And this girl will grow up, she will ask you for father, she will do this, she will feel sad when other people are talking to their father, she will do this, she will feel bad. Like, that's what I kept hearing. That was what I was just hearing every now and then. Left, right, front, back. And at the end of the day, I had no choice than to extend the hand of reconciliation to my ex, which was the greatest mistake of my life. But I thank God that in that situation, I was able to have a sibling for my daughter. And I was able to have a second child. And that hand of reconciliation I extended to him now multiplied the, if I was getting 10 abuse before the hand of reconciliation, the abuse I was now getting now multiplied to like 100. I was reminded how he was on his own. I came and brought him back, that he's doing me a favor by marrying me. Who will marry me? You are old, you are after 2, you already have 2 children, you are washed, your boobs has fallen, you have stretch mark. Who will look at you? Your own is over, blah 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 blah. Oh my God, it was horrible. It was horrible. I don't wish my enemy what I saw in that second phase of marriage. And at the end of the day, as usual, he left again. And I said, bye. Rather than me to experience this abuse for the rest of my life, I plead to be single for the rest of my life. Yes, let me be single. If my children grow up and they say they want to hate me because I chose peace over abuse in marriage, good for them. Which me, I know I did not give birth to stupid children. My children are not stupid. They are exposed, they are learned. Even at their young age, they know what is happening. So if they decide to grow up and they say they want to judge me, their mother, because of what happened in my life, good for them. As for me and myself, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to face that life, everlasting torture. I am not going to face that kind of lifestyle, all in the name of I want to be a Mrs. No way, no way, no way. I am not going to do that. Everybody has their own way of life. There are some women, they feel like abuse them, carry money and give to them, they'll throw the abuse one side. My hands are not broken, neither are my legs broken. I can work hard for myself to give myself the kind of life I want to. I was emotionally abused, like emotionally abused. That emotion is in capital letter. I was emotionally abused all throughout the 2 years of marriage. I'm not talking about the financial part of it. I'm not talking about the security part of it. I'm not talking about physical. But that emotional, please Google what it means by being emotional. I was running mad. I wanted to go mad, like, and somebody was making me go mad and acting as if he's innocent. Like I said, I don't want to give too much information about this. It's just, this is what, people keep saying, why didn't you fight? Why didn't you fight? If you want to fight, fine. It's good for you. You can fight too. Everybody have the reason. Somebody was like, I can fight for my children. You can fight. For me, I am not ready to go through that. I'm not ready to go through marriage life with that kind of abuse. And abuse was not coming from only one person. It was coming from one person and the entire clan of that person. So, for how long will I have continued? Will I have continued facing this? And just like I said with my mom, it doesn't stop. Abuse does not stop. It continues for life, especially when the person, the head of the family that is supposed to protect the woman, especially when the head of the family has opened the door, has make it a normal thing for the wife to be abused. Yes, it doesn't stop. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on for life. And the best thing that had happened to me was remove myself from that entanglement. And good enough for me, he made my life easier. He thought he was killing me. He made my life easier by leaving and filing for divorce. He thought I was going to fight. My divorce in our court procedure, my divorce was the simplest and the easiest divorce. If not for COVID, it wouldn't have even taken 1 year. I'm sure. Because I told them, what do you want? Let them divorce. I didn't even counter. I didn't even bother. I'd be like, they were like, no, you're supposed to fight. Fight what? It's not worth fighting. It's not worth fighting. Fight what? Is it the finance? I don't care. I'm not interested. Just end the marriage. That is what I want. Just end it. Let everybody be. For my mental health, I want this marriage to be over. Despite being pregnant, I was like, I don't care anymore. The judge there was like, it's so simple. Everything was just going smoothly. Anything he said, fine. Can it end? The only place that we had hiccup was in the welfare of the children. That was where we had hiccup. For me, I was done. I was like, good and fine. I don't need to fight. We don't need to. He used and adopt me. I don't care. I don't care. All this idea of I want to fight, I want to get compensation. I don't need any compensation. Can we be done with this? Can I move on with my life? So that is it. So that is the end of my of this story. I'm not here to mock anybody. I'm laughing now. 5 years ago, it wasn't this easy. Just to make this to clarify things, 5 years ago, it was not this easy. There were times that I can sit down like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right way? Is this my life? It was not easy. But anytime I look back to that period, I'm like, I think I made the right decision, because one thing about life is your happiness. If you're not happy, I don't know again. I know money will come, every other thing will come, but yourself, are you happy with yourself, is a priority of life. And I think where I am now, I am happy with myself. I'm satisfied with my progress. I'm satisfied with where life is taking me with. I thank God that things that I was being mocked with is a blessing in my life now. Like I was being mocked that my life was useless, that I have 2 children, how will I go with life and everything. It's a blessing to me now, because when I sit down and I look at my children, I'm like, oh, is this me? I have 2 children. I thank God that despite all those tribulation, I was able to have 2 children. Has it been easy all this while? No, it has not been easy. I'm being sincere, but I thank God for where I am today. Thank God for where He's taking me to. Thank God I have peace. Thank God my sanity is intact. Thank God that everything is turning out beautiful and good and good and good. So that's the end of this marriage talk. I don't think in my subsequent video again I'm going to ever mention anything regarding my ex or about the past. I don't think I will ever. Going forward, in short, after this 2024, because I think I'll drop any more videos on how I was able to navigate all this, because seriously it was not easy. And definitely I know that this video, somebody that will need it will come across my video. So I'm not saying it because I want to mock somebody. I want to use this as a means of helping somebody that is in this situation, or that will find his or herself in this situation. So I'm going to drop 1 or 2 video on how I was able to navigate. Because was it easy? No, it was not easy. Even up to now, it's not still easy raising 2 children alone in Nigeria. So I'll end this video here because I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It keeps cutting the recording. So I'll end this video here. Please do well to like, do well to comment, do well to share if possible, and also do not forget to subscribe. Please, 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 I beg you. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye. I'm doing this with one hand. I'm holding the phone with the other hand. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, as usual. Thank you.